Right, let's have a go. Welcome back to the channel. Man City 4, Arsenal 1 in the Premier League final 2023. Arsenal's biggest game for over 15 years, and they go and get their arses absolutely handed to them on a silver platter by this Man City team with the baldest manager in the Premier League, Pep Guardiola, who is going to win his 5th Premier League title in the last 6 years at the expense of Mikel Arteta, Lego Heads, Arsenal team. And losing a final by 4-1. Sounds familiar, doesn't it, Arsenal fans? But yep, like I said, Arsenal have massively gone and bottled their best chance of winning a Premier League title for the foreseeable future. Now, I think it's fair to say that I don't think they'll be anywhere near the conversation next season. This was their best chance to win their first Premier League title for what, 19 years almost? And they've gone and blown it in absolutely sensational fashion. They drew 2-2 at Anfield, where they got their arses absolutely handed to them for the whole of the second half, or the majority of the game overall, and were lucky to get away with a point. Then they go and bottle a 2-0 lead inside 10 minutes against a relegation-threatened West Ham. Then they go and draw 3-3 at home to the bottom side Southampton, and now they go and lose 4-1 in the game of all games for them. The mother of all fixtures for them in their history in the last 15 years or so. They go and lose by 4-1, getting absolutely embarrassed in the biggest men versus boys performance you are going to see from two teams for a long time. And look, obviously you can say I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm going through the motions right now, and you can easily say, you know what, why are you laughing? Because Chelsea are Chelsea are 11th, Chelsea are this, Chelsea are that. But the bottom line is here, ladies and gentlemen, that I will ultimately just agree with you. So what I'm going to be doing is just laughing at Arsenal while I have the chance, especially after the biggin they've given it all season long. These motherfuckers got t-shirts printed when they were top of the league at Christmas, and you think I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon when they bottle it like I've been saying they were going to do for the whole season? Are you fucking mental? And yet, like I've just alluded to, I said this would happen to Arsenal for a number of months now. I was probably in the 5% of people that were non-Man City fans that said Arsenal would not win the Premier League title this season for a number of reasons, and that has ultimately seen me be proved right. And don't get me wrong, Arsenal are having an absolutely brilliant season, you know, all unbiased aside. But at the end of the day, winning a Premier League title, I don't think people understand how tough it is, especially against this City team who, when they get into motion, my god do they get into motion, and when they click, I mean honestly, they've been absolutely unbreakable and formidable for a number of months now, Man City, a number of weeks anyway. And when they see that a title race is going against them, they just click into gear and they go absolute god mode, and I could see it coming, like everyone else that wasn't delusional, to be honest, could see coming as well. And obviously Arsenal fans, I don't blame you, to be honest, for buying into it, because I'd be the same if Chelsea were in a title race this season. But I'm sorry to say, but that's just the nature of being a football fan. You know, you gave it the big one all season. You were telling me every single day without fail, there was not one day on this planet I was alive for the last 9 months you didn't fucking remind me that you were winning the Premier League. And well, ladies and gentlemen, life has just gone full circle, because Arsenal fans now are just as depressed as Chelsea fans for this next 6 or so games left in this season. And I think it's fair to say Arsenal are going through their best season for almost 2 decades now, trophyless. You just love to see it. And yeah, I guess without further ado now, we'll just get into some actual analysis on this game and just some level-headed opinions, because I apologise, Arsenal fans, I really do, because I just had to take this opportunity to banter the out of you, because as a Chelsea fan, first and foremost, I've been caused nothing but depression this season, so it's all I really have is to laugh at other teams that have done well. And second of all, like I said, I've been one of the 5% of people probably that thought that Arsenal wouldn't win the Premier League. Even after that game against Bournemouth when they won 3-2, I still said Arsenal will not win the Premier League title this season. I've stuck to my word throughout the whole season, and I'm taking back the W that I've earned, because I was one of the only ones that said Arsenal would not have the character to win a Premier League title, they would not have the steel to win a Premier League title, they had a tough run-in, they have too young a squad, too much of an inexperienced squad, and the fact they're coming up against this team in City that have serial winners, just focus on the next game, unlike Arsenal, who have had players like Aaron Ramsdale come out in the Fellas podcast and be like, if we win the league, and entertaining the fact that they might win the league. I'm sorry, you are not going to win a Premier League title if you are openly admitting halfway through the season that you might win the league, and if we win the league we'll do this, and if we win the league we'll do that. It's just not how it works, especially against the City team who were literally just like, you know what, we're just going to focus on the next game, we know we're as good as every single team on the planet, and they just have that Premier League winning steel that Arsenal just do not possess, unfortunately for them. And you know what this game reminded me of overall, right? It's like, say you have two brothers, right? One older obviously and one younger. The younger brother gets a bit too big for his boots, you know, he's having a bit of success in his life, he's graduated from school with flying colours, he's in great shape, while the other brother is obviously, you know, just a little bit of a fat lazy prick overall and just taken a little bit of a step back from the gym overall. And what happens then is the big brother's just gone, you know what? You've had your limelight, step aside now. I'm picking back up those weights. I'm doing a bit of bench press. Sit back in your fucking corner. Know your place. And that's honestly exactly what I think has happened tonight, because I don't think at any point during that whole 90 minutes that was played tonight that City even remotely feared Arsenal at any point in the game whatsoever. And yeah, as I said, it was just a simple case of men against boys overall. Arsenal created little to no chances in the whole game, bar that Rob Holding goal, which was merely a consolation in hindsight, obviously, and City just completely and utterly dominated. Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, this guy, is it safe to say that Kevin De Bruyne is the best ever Premier League midfielder? I think it's a fair argument, to be honest, and I think with what this guy has achieved in his time at Man City, especially in these big games where he steps up without fail in every single big game, a title decider, Kevin De Bruyne steps up like that and wins you the game, and that's exactly what he did tonight once again. He was absolutely ridiculous. The first goal is a piece of brilliance from him and Haaland. I'm not having this myth, I'm not having this fucking myth that Haaland doesn't do it in big games, because Haaland showed up in City's biggest game this season, in the Premier League certainly. He showed up and absolutely dominated Arsenal's defence. Rob Holding looked like a little child against this Erling Haaland performance, and yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. I'm glad he got his goal to cap off the performance, because you know for a fact what would happen if Haaland didn't score that goal. People would be saying, oh, Haaland doesn't do it in big games, he didn't score tonight. He got an assist for De Bruyne's goal, he might even have gotten 2 assists, and his overall play in this game was absolutely sensational. I mean, that first goal from De Bruyne, yes, he does well to shift it into the right area, to hit it on his right foot, but Haaland creates that goal with as good as a bit of link-up play and as good as a bit of hold-up play as you're going to see from a striker. The touch to turn Rob Holding in that position with that piece of control is absolutely world-class from Haaland, and De Bruyne obviously gets his goal. The second goal from John Stones pretty much finishes off the game, gives Arsenal little to no chance in getting anything from the game overall, and to be fair, I think Aaron Ramsdale actually prevented Arsenal from conceding probably 6 or 7 in this game. I think he really kept them in it, especially in the first half. And then the third goal from De Bruyne just passes it into the bottom corner, and yeah, just easy as you like, to be honest, and that's exactly what I mean by I think City just did not fear Arsenal by any stretch of the imagination. I think even if Arsenal had got an equaliser at 1-1, I think City would have, just believed in their own ability and known that they're clearly the better team. And I think they knew as well they had Arsenal right where they wanted them in terms of the mentality perspective as well, given how many points Arsenal have dropped in recent weeks. And I think City ultimately deserve this title race, to be honest. They've clicked into form at the right time. They've really shown Arsenal what it takes to win a Premier League title, and the dog and the steel you need to win a Premier League title over a 38-game season. And overall, like I said, I've had my fun with Arsenal in this video, but I will say they've had a very good season. I think getting into the Champions League alone is a very good achievement for Arsenal this season, and they're coming up against a team who, let's be honest, are just perfection. They could win the treble this season. It would be absolutely historic if they do that, and they've won 5 of the last 6 Premier League titles. They're probably the best team to ever grace the Premier League, to be honest, and that's what they're going against. And to be fair, winning a Premier League title against this City team is going to be near impossible, to be honest, unless you're absolutely perfect. But they have had a good season, Arsenal. I know it'll be seen as a failure from their perspective, given how far ahead they were at one point, and ultimately they have really bottled it, to be fair, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, in conclusion, it will be Man City now that more than likely do win the league. I mean, imagine how much of a I will look now if Arsenal somehow go and turn it around and win the Premier League this season, but I think it's fair to say now that City will win the league this season. Now, even though they've got some tough games left towards the end of the season, against Brighton away, for example, Brentford away in the last game of the season, which isn't going to be easy, but Arsenal themselves do have some tough games left as well. Newcastle away, even Nottingham Forest away in the second last game of the season, who did beat Brighton tonight. And to be honest, I could really see Arsenal just crumbling now between now and the end of the season, to be honest. I think that this result, especially in the last 4 results, will really hit them where it hurts, and it wouldn't surprise me at all, to be fair, to see Arsenal just completely go off the boil in these last few games, to be honest. It really wouldn't. But yeah, the bottom line here is Arsenal fans, any Arsenal fans that are no doubt spamming my comment section with absolute hurdles of abuse, given how much I've laughed at Arsenal in this video, I say fair enough. But second of all, just remember this, right? You gave it so much biggin all season long. You absolutely drilled it into our minds that Arsenal were winning the Premier League this season. So all I'm saying is you have to expect it coming back your way when you eventually get proven wrong and when you eventually look like because you said Arsenal would win the league all season and they've crumbled like a fucking digestive in a cup of tea. So what I'd say is if you're going to give it, then very much be prepared to take it when it comes your way. But yeah, I guess that's where we'll leave this video now. Manchester City, congratulations on winning the Premier League title. Arsenal, commiserations, but congratulations on getting yourselves back into the Champions League next season, which, like I said, is a good achievement overall given the expectation at the start of the season. But yeah, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. It would go a long way in helping me outweigh the Arsenal fans that are no doubt absolutely spamming the shit out of that dislike button on this video. And subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. We are looking to hit 3,000 subscribers on this channel as soon as we bloody well possibly can. So every single one of you that hits that big fat juicy succulent subscribe button, you be an absolute legend and help me get there as soon as possible. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video, and yeah, chat to you later.